Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about why I believe Justin Gaethje is going to brutally finish Dustin Poirier in their up-and-coming fight for the BMF title at UFC 291 this weekend. Over the past several years, Justin Gaethje has made significant improvements in his game. And this is the main reason why I believe he's going to win this fight. Dustin Poirier is a guy who, throughout his career, he's looked very similar. He's honestly slowed down. In my opinion, he's going over the hill. He still has an amazing chin. He's still very tough, and he's very technical. He's one of the best lightweights alive right now. So he's not going to lose to a lot of these guys. He's still going to beat a lot of these guys. He just beat Michael Chandler, and he could still beat Justin Gaethje. He could beat Charles Oliveira possibly. I'd still pick Charles Oliveira to win a rematch, but this is a guy where I could see him beating Fiziev. He could beat a lot of these guys. And that's because Dustin Poirier is such a good fighter. We saw this on full display in his fight with Conor McGregor. We saw this on full display his heart and his ability to overcome aggression and other things like that in the Michael Chandler fight. And we've continued to see Dustin Poirier as this gold standard fighter. But that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm picking Justin Gaethje. It's because Dustin Poirier has become the gold standard. He's become the diamond standard. Everyone knows that we are going to get a typical Dustin Poirier fight every time he fights. We're not going to go into the fight and see something new. There's no new tool in his box. You know what I mean? Some guys will come out to a new fight and we'll suddenly see, oh, they've added a teep to their game. They've added a head kick. They've added the jab. We watched Justin Gaethje's last fight where for the majority of the first and second round, he was just throwing hooks. He was just throwing the wild punches, and they were still accurate. They were landing. They were clipping Fiziev. But Fiziev came out in the beginning of the third round very aggressive. He came out super aggressive. And he clipped Justin Gaethje a couple times at the beginning of the third round. And that almost stole him the round. But then Justin Gaethje proved like, yo, you can be aggressive for like a minute. And then you're going to gas out again. You had that 1 minute of break at the end of the second round. You had 1 minute of aggression, and you burnt it immediately trying to hurt me in the beginning of the third round. And that just shows the difference in fight IQ between Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev. But Justin Gaethje, in that third round, he goes, okay, the hooks are landing. If you're landing hooks on a guy, because he's not moving out of the way, he's not blocked properly, you're going to be able to land the straight punches even easier. Straight punches will almost always land easier than the looping punches. And they're faster, they're more accurate, and they're much harder to block. So if you're able to easily land the hooks on Fiziev like Justin Gaethje was doing, you can land the jab. Justin Gaethje realized this and started putting the jab on Fiziev, just smacking his head backwards, peppering him with that jab over and over and over again, doubling it up at times. And he really showed levels to that game. He showed levels in that fight. And Justin Gaethje has shown improvements. He added the jab to his toolbox. We cannot say the same for Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier comes into every fight with a very similar game plan. He's going to try to push you backwards. He's going to try to, start landing the boxing, start making it nasty, and put that gritty, dirty boxing on you where he's blocking punches weird, like Max Holloway said in their fight when Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway fought for the interim lightweight championship a while ago. Holloway was trying to punch Poirier, and in between rounds, he was talking to his corner. He goes, I can't hit the guy. He's blocking punches weird.
You gotta let it go, okay?
Blocking weird.
I know, but when he dips out.
And that's something about Dustin Poirier's game. He puts on that dirty boxing pace on you. He's got really good cardio. He's got an almost uncrackable chin. I mean, when's the last time we saw Dustin Poirier get dropped or knocked out? I mean, the last time he really got put like that was, all the way back when he fought Michael Johnson or Conor McGregor back in 2014 at featherweight? So Dustin Poirier's got an incredible chin. He's got incredible power. He doesn't quite have that one-shot knockout power. Same for Justin Gaethje. Charles Oliveira can put you out with one shot. He can put you on your ass badly with one shot. You won't really see the same with Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje. They kind of touch you. If I had to go punch for punch, who punched harder, I'd go Justin Gaethje. It doesn't make that much of a difference. Dustin Poirier is that guy who will put that pace on you. The biggest and most dangerous weapon in his toolbox is his killer instinct. When Dustin Poirier hurts you, the fight is over. We saw what happened when he fought Michael Chandler back at UFC 281. Michael Chandler was coming in trying to throw those big punches. He always just tries to swarm you. And Dustin Poirier just kind of eats it. He's blocking punches up against the cage. He's just kind of shelling up and doing his thing where he's kind of rolling with the punches, moving. It's like a more refined, better version of what Robbie Lawler tried to do in his career. And he's kind of block and punch weird. And he honestly got clipped several times badly when he fought Michael Chandler, but he was able to eat that damage. He was able to survive, and he ends up making reads on Michael Chandler. And honestly, it's not that hard to make reads on someone when they're throwing like a wild man like Michael Chandler does. And he steps in and lands a beautiful check right hook from the southpaw stance on Michael Chandler, dropping him on his ass, following up against the cage, and landing brutal shots. Basically, he had Michael Chandler out on his feet. If that fight would have ended 10 seconds later, Michael Chandler would have been finished in the first round. Dustin Poirier would have gotten a first round finish. This was 100% saved by the bell. And Dustin Poirier has shown that he's an incredible fighter. He's shown he's got incredible boxing. He's got some of the best boxing in the UFC. In my opinion, he is an overrated striker, and he kind of does rely on his chin and his grittiness sometimes. And people don't talk about that enough. But at the end of the day, Dustin Poirier is a phenomenal fighter, and his skills cannot be overlooked. However, we do not see Dustin Poirier refining his toolbox. We don't see him adding a new weapon. We always knew he can throw some leg kicks. We always know he can throw the hooks and everything. We don't see him adding the jab, adding the teep. We don't really see a lot of this. And Dustin Poirier is kind of just gritty. We saw when he fought Charles Oliveira. Dude was eating teeps to the body. He wasn't blocking any of them. We saw he was getting step into elbow. He was getting hooked. He just kind of relies on his grittiness. And I think that Justin Gaethje, who has refined his toolbox, that has added weapons to his game, and is significantly improved since his last fight with Dustin Poirier, where the same cannot be said for Dustin Poirier. I believe Dustin Poirier has not made those same improvements. I think Justin Gaethje is going to finish him, and I think it's going to be brutal, and I think it's going to be a masterclass, and I also think it's going to be shocking. People are going to be going, how did this happen? Justin Gaethje, we always knew he was good, but we didn't know he was this good. And I believe this fight's going to be very competitive, but I think that as the fight goes on, Justin Gaethje is going to be landing that jab on Dustin Poirier. He's going to be starting to pull away and create that distance. He's going to be rising above Dustin Poirier, and Dustin's going to start falling behind. It's going to be similar to like a typical Max Holloway fight, where his opponent just starts to fall behind, and Gaethje is just going to keep rising and rising and rising. I think eventually he's going to overwhelm Dustin Poirier, hurt him badly, swarm him, and give him some of that Dustin Poirier medicine, finishing him brutally. As for an early prediction, I'm going Justin Gaethje via 4th round TKO. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be hard to watch for Dustin Poirier fans. I'm super excited for this fight. I cannot wait to watch it happen. We've seen Justin Gaethje make those improvements. We saw after he lost to Dustin Poirier, he started adding weapons to his toolbox. We saw him, and this was on full display in the Tony Ferguson fight before he fought Khabib Nurmagomedov for the lightweight belt. He won the interim lightweight belt against Tony Ferguson, and this was one of the most brutal, depressing fights I've ever seen in my entire life. This is the second most depressing fight I've ever seen behind Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev. Justin Gaethje showed that he made improvements, and we saw this again when he fought Rafael Fiziev, who is the best striker that Justin Gaethje has probably ever fought in his entire career. He is the technically best striker, phenomenal Muay Thai, very fast. The cardio's not there for Fiziev. The fight IQ's not there for Fiziev, but he's a phenomenal fighter. He's a phenomenal striker, and Justin Gaethje was able to brutalize him. If that fight would have gone 2 more rounds, he would have finished Fiziev brutally. And I believe the same can be said for what he's going to do to Dustin Poirier. I don't believe he's going to gas Dustin out. What I think is going to happen is Dustin's going to try to play the game he's been playing recently, where he tries to wade you in and make reads on you as you're throwing shots. He relies on his chin. And I believe Justin Gaethje's going to be getting in and out of the pocket really quickly, landing those shots. 1-2, 1-2, you know what I mean? Chopping the legs brutally of Dustin Poirier, who doesn't check leg kicks the best because he leans heavy on that lead leg because he's got that traditional boxer stance. And I believe Justin Gaethje is going to keep chopping the legs. He's going to keep tagging him with the jab. I believe Dustin Poirier is going to get desperate. He's going to look for some big shots. He's going to get countered. And Justin Gaethje is going to brutally TKO him in the 4th round of their fight. He's going to get the BMF title, which in my opinion is the stupidest belt I've ever heard about in my entire life. It's a gimmick belt. It's WWE. It's corny as hell. I don't ever want to see it again. But I believe Justin Gaethje is going to brutally finish Dustin Poirier. That's my official prediction. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know down in the comment section. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss another one of my uploads. I'm sorry I've been a little bit inactive recently. I've been on business trips and such. I've been very busy with school, but I'm back now. School's over, and I'm ready to get back to making content. Let me know if you guys enjoy it, and I will see you guys in the next one.